old friend, the Nvidia SHIELD Android TV. Seems like Nvidia has put it through a shrink ray, but what else is new? What else is different? What's better? Let's find out, shall we? Nvidia announced a new Shield for 2017 with 4K HDR streaming capabilities. There are only a few small changes to the hardware, so let's go over that right now. But first up, what you get in the box. Obviously, the Nvidia SHIELD controller, a Shield remote, a micro USB cable, power adapter, and some documentation. If you recall when we reviewed the original, the Shield remote was an accessory that was sold separate for $50. It's nice to see that Nvidia decided to include one this time around. At first glance, the remote looks like the exact same with the same 4-way direct pad with center confirm button, back and home buttons, and the voice search button, and just below the search button, you can still adjust volume by sliding your finger up and down. But diving a little bit deeper, you'll see that the remote is no longer rechargeable and it doesn't have an audio jack for plugging headphones for private listening. Instead, the Shield remote is powered by two CR2032 batteries. I think this is a welcome change because, let's be real, with regular TV remotes, you aren't changing batteries that often. Moving on to the controller. The new redesigned controller is a sight for sore eyes. Let's be real, the old controller was chunky. This new controller is a lot slimmer, and even with its angular shape design around the entire controller, it still feels quite ergonomic. Nvidia also claims that the controller has a battery life of up to 60 hours. Other changes to the controller include a new D-pad shape. The thumbsticks are smaller now, but offer grooved edges, not a smooth surface. The home, back, and start buttons have now been moved to the bottom of the controller instead of at the top, and this placement feels more natural. Just above the Android nav buttons is the volume touch bar like we saw on the remote, and the old touchpad area of the controller is no longer found on the new version. The Nvidia button is still centrally located, but Nvidia finally decided to move the headphone port to the bottom of the controller instead of it next to the micro USB charging port. Good stuff. Finally, let's move on to the Shield itself. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the 2017 version is a whole lot smaller than the original. In fact, Nvidia says it's 40% smaller. The Shield measures roughly 98mm by 159mm by 25.9mm. And I use the word roughly because the Shield still retains the wedge shape and angular edges, so the exact measurements are kinda hard to jot down. Moving along the top of the unit, we still have the green LED, but on the 2017 model, the Nvidia logo is no longer doubling as a power/sleep button. On the bottom, we see some ventilation, and at the back, there are two USB 3 ports, one HDMI, gigabit Ethernet, and power. Now, compared to the older version, it is missing a micro USB port and the micro SD expansion port, but you can always use just one of the USB 3 ports on the new one with a USB drive to expand the storage on the unit. Internally, the Nvidia Shield still runs a Tegra X1 processor with a 256-core GPU and 3GB of RAM. So basically, Nvidia just shrunk the Shield and added 4K HDR playback for things like Netflix and Amazon Video. But speaking of video, the streaming video experience for 4K video was quite fast. It does take a moment for the video to buffer up to UHD resolutions, but it does it pretty seamlessly. Personally, right now, for video streaming, I go in between Amazon Video and Crunchyroll when I have time to kill. So what else is new? Well, the Shield is running Android 7.0 Nougat, which means Google Assistant will be available to use. And using your voice to search makes things a lot easier than typing it out on the controller or even with the remote. You will still get access to GeForce Now, which is Nvidia's version of Netflix for video games, and for $7.99 a month, you get access to a library of over 100 titles, 60 of which are included with the membership. Games like Hitman Absolution, Tomb Raider, Batman Arkham Origins, Saints Row 4, and so much more. Just a small note, your streaming experience will depend on a few things, like having a router capable of broadcasting a 5.0 GHz frequency, and of course, a decent internet connection. But GeForce Now's streaming quality automatically adjusts to the speed of your broadband connection. If you want to check out a list of routers that Nvidia has deemed worthy of their GeForce Now streaming service, I'll put a link down below. Another feature that remains the same is Nvidia Game Stream technology. Basically, you can stream your PC games to your Shield. All you need is a GeForce GTX GPU and a Wi-Fi connection. For HDR content, you will need a Pascal-based GPU, and for 4K streaming, you will need a GTX 1080. And for anyone looking to get more than just a gaming or streaming experience, with Google Assistant you can have also a smart home experience. From adjusting the thermostat to playing your favorite playlist, the Nvidia Shield will be able to do so soon. You can even expand the smart home functionality into different rooms in your house with Nvidia Spot, also coming soon. So that's the new Nvidia Shield, a new smaller form factor with the same great performance, a new controller, and the ability to consume 4K HDR content. For anyone interested in the Shield TV, links will be down in the description. And don't worry, for anyone who already has a Shield TV, you should be getting an over-the-air update soon, as that has started to roll out last week at the time of filming this video. But I would recommend picking up a new controller if you have the extra cash. It's just a whole lot more comfortable. But that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Click over here for previous videos. Check us out on Twitter right over there. But as always, like the video if you liked it, comment down below for fans with benefits, and subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX. We'll see you later.